Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your May 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. And if you want to help out my channel, which I would greatly appreciate, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, with that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini, May 2021 full moon. How will Gemini be affected by the May 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the May 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay. Let's think of this as a tree. The branches here, the trunk and the roots here. All right. So the left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And of course, this is our roots and what's grounding us during this time. So we have the Knight of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The full moon is in Sagittarius, which is our sister sign. It is Gemini's sister sign. So that is going to be very powerful. The sun is, of course, in Gemini. And then we have the devil, which is Capricorn energy. The full moon on the 24th of June will be in Capricorn. So the power of this full moon is leading us forward. It can also make us a bit rash. So just be mindful of that. We have the lovers, Gemini energy. We have the new moon on the 10th of June in Gemini. All right. This is also a solar eclipse is on the 10th of June, and a lunar eclipse is on the 26th of May, is on the full moon in May. And we have the Ace of Cups coming in, so that's beautiful. That's going to be very powerful. We have the Page of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is us coming through as a student, and we're walking away from something we once thought we would love. There's an ending here that's really quite profound. We have the Knight of Cups, again, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. We're definitely taking this gift of healing, of coming together. It's going to be our protection during this time. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. Be patient. Be patient as things evolve, as things become. Spirit just said it would take 7 days, and I don't know exactly what that's relating to, but be mindful of that. Be mindful of the week cycle, okay? Yeah, during this time. All right, so now let's dive into this full moon. This full moon is the biggest and the brightest moon of the year, which is really quite exciting. And it comes with a lot of other things. It's not just your regular full moon. It is a blood moon, it has a lunar eclipse, and it is the second supermoon of the year. So this is yeah, and it's the closest moon to the Earth in 2021. So this is just intensified power. This is super rare, and it's going to be a very intense moon for us. It says here to look at the bigger picture. Sagittarius is ruled, the full moon is in Sagittarius. We need to look at the bigger picture. Sagittarius is ruled by benevolent Jupiter. So now is the time to laugh rather than to judge. This is the most optimistic, most non-judgmental, most positive moon that we have, and it's amplified because of the lunar eclipse. And this is a moon that we want amplified. Now, at this time, we can be very idealistic, and it can lead to our emotions kind of exaggerating things because we want everything to just be perfect. And this is going to be a time where, okay, we can go for perfection, but perfection is always a double-edged sword because we'll never quite get there. So just being mindful of that during this time, stepping back and saying, okay, this is a non-judgmental moon, this is an optimistic moon. I get to be non-judgmental to myself. I get to be optimistic to myself. This is a time where we're kind of more laid back. We're seeking wisdom. We're seeking adventure. We're seeking a fulfillment of soul instead of a fulfillment through things. So during this moon is going to be squared Jupiter. And so this is going to have us need to be very mindful of the news that we receive and the revelations that come our way, because things are just going to be exaggerated during this time. So with the full moon, right, this always has us surrendering to the divine to increase our power. The full moon with the full moon eclipse has conclusions coming into reach, has things lining up, has things making more sense. With the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, this means something about the truth is going to have to come up. So what we need to look at really quite profoundly is, where does the profound change need to be in my life? Where am I blindsided? Where am I, where do I have my blinders on and why? And we can kind of call ourselves out on this. And we might say, okay, but if I have my blinders on, how would I know? It's the thing that we avoid. It's the thing that we think, oh, I'll get to it later. We put it off and put it off. This is a time with the supermoon, emotions are running high, and we attract to ourselves what we need, what we desire, what we long for, what we want within our lives, but also what we're thinking about. And if we're thinking about chaos and upset and upheaval, this is what we're going to get. So we have to be very mindful of our emotions and also ourselves. Now, with the lunar eclipse on the 26th of May, this greatly affects Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. On the 10th of June, with the solar eclipse, okay, this is also going to greatly affect Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. So see where these signs are within your chart, because it's going to be an intense time, and it's going to be a time where we ourselves are going to be greatly affected. And then if you have a rising in Sagittarius or a moon in Sagittarius, or even anywhere in your chart with any of these signs, it's going to be amplified. This is a time for adaptability because Sagittarius is malleable. And so here we're going to want to kind of go with the flow. We're going to want to change and to adapt and to try new things. And this is also a time where we can't let the fire sign get the better hand of us. Okay, we can't, well, not that we can't, but we should be very mindful of the air sign of Gemini feeding the fire sign of Sagittarius, because again, they're sister signs. And so just as sisters, you can either be the best of friends, and you can be the best of friends, but you can also be the worst of enemies and know exactly what buttons to push. So this is going to be a time where we need to be mindful of this. Now, with the new moon in Gemini, it says here, communication is key. For us, Gemini, communication is key anyway. We need to be able to communicate. We need to be able to bring things together. This also brings new beginnings, and unexpected things start to come forward, but they start to come within the head first. We need to think about them. We need to gain an understanding of it before we can really push ourselves forward towards what we desire, towards what we want, and even to be able to communicate with what it is that we're heading for and what it is that we really want to see develop within our lives. We can feel like I don't have the words, or I'm frustrated because I'm not able to express myself the way that I want to. But we can see here, all right, because our hearts are going to be greatly impacted by this new moon, we can see that there's a healing that comes from the new moon, from the solar eclipse, from this sense of being in our elemental self and really looking at ourselves and having the words be so important and having ourselves be so important. And it's not being egocentric. It is being aware, and it is being powerfully assertive within ourselves. It moves us to the full moon in Capricorn. An end of a tough cycle approaches. We're looking at the bigger picture. We're communicating what we want and what we need and what we desire. And this is leading up to the very practical and down-to-earth moon of Capricorn, of getting things done, of moving things forward, of going after what we need and what we want. And during this time, we have the spirit animals. Now, the spirit animals of May are the beaver spirit and the elk spirit. And I have standing in for the elk spirit, the stag spirit, because it really does put things together so nicely. The beaver spirit says, lay a solid foundation. And the beaver spirit is a time to trust our creativity, for accomplishments through cooperations, and through motivation for jumpstarting. You know, we're motivated to jumpstart, to go after, to look at what we desire. And because we have Jupiter squared during this moon, this is a wonderful time for us to start to create the vision that we want within our own lives, to start to create and cultivate. And with the elk spirit, and we have the beautiful stag spirit standing in, it says, enter into a time of plenty. We are entering into a time of plenty, and the elk spirit brings that forward. And as we're embracing that time of plenty, everything you need, you will get. Not everything you want, but everything you need. And so it's time to take that leap. It's time to go after what we desire. And then with June, we have the spirit animals of the eagle spirit and the deer spirit. The deer spirit says, bring a gentle touch. The eagle spirit says, spirit has your back. Now, the deer spirit symbolizes sensitivity, intuition, gentleness, and fertility. It also, in Buddhism, the deer symbolizes harmony, happiness, peace, and longevity. With the eagle spirit, where spirit has your back, the eagle spirit is leadership and authority. In Native American culture, this is a bird that is closely linked to the creator and is the messenger. So here, spirit has your back because this is the messenger bird. This is the bird that opens up the doors, that brings forward the creation. And this is symbolically linked to courage, strength, and wisdom. During this full moon, this is the flower full moon, named by the Native Americans for the flowers that bloom in May. We are blooming during this time. We are going to see parts of ourselves that were stagnant, parts of ourselves that were afraid, that were overwhelmed, especially within the public arena. We become students, all right? And we start to move forward from what had once terrified us, what once we thought we were destined to be. Now there's a game changing here, and we are embracing this game changing time. Now let's see the chakra energy for this time. Gemini. How will Gemini be affected by the May 2021 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the May 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Self-mastery. This is the solar plexus chakra. This is a sense of being able to find the self, being able to align with the self, being able to master what is desired, what we are seeing, what we are looking for, and being guided towards. Self-mastery comes in with the solar plexus chakra. And because we can be feeling things so intensely, because we can be kind of misled by our own emotions, the solar plexus is going to be so important. Listening to our gut, listening to what's the healthiest, what's the most powerful, what's the best thing for us. We're really going to have gut reactions to things during this time, gut insights. So it can be like, oh wow, I've always wanted to try this diet. Now we can try it, a new way of eating that helps promote our body and ourselves. Or, oh, I've always wanted to learn this or that, and now we go after it. Because at our root, there is this huge sense of love being our defining key, of love being the guard that we walk forward during this time. And that's so prominent and powerful, especially for Gemini, because we are love, all right? We're represented by the lovers in the major arcana. But one of our things that we have to overcome, Gemini, in our life is that if we can get out of saying, everybody just needs to love me, I just need to be that that good supportive person that everybody loves and loves to be around. And if we can say, I might not, always be liked by certain people. I might not always be loved by certain people. But this is what I'm going towards. And this is what I'm going for within my life, within myself, and within my desire. This is the door that I am opening. And we have our armor on because life isn't fair and it isn't always right. And we move forward towards our love, towards our desire, and towards where we need to be within our lives. And this is a time where it can be a little bit hard to not be emotionally respected, to be seen the way that we so want to be seen. But this is going to be a time, and this is going to be a moon where we look at the bigger picture and we start to take aim and we start to communicate with ourselves for what we need and what we want and what we desire. And the lunar eclipse, it doesn't hold anything back. We really start to see things with this sense of truth, with this sense of, oh, that's what it is, isn't it? And so we move forward with love and respect, but first and foremost, with love and respect for ourselves. And it moves us to being patient. Now, Spirit did say in the beginning of this, a 7-day cycle. Now, it can be, for some of us, a 7-year cycle, where we start to see ourselves becoming a new person with this 7-year cycle. But we're also going to have to be patient with the seeds that we have planted, with the way that things are moving forward. It's going to take a little bit longer during this moon than we wanted it to. But that's not necessarily going to be a bad thing. There is a sense of power here, a sense of, insight and ideas and understanding. What we have planted starts to grow. What we have seen starts to build up. And this is a time where we need to start relying on divine timing. This isn't going to be exactly the way that we wanted, exactly when we wanted. But divine timing is coming in to lay a beautiful foundation and to really show us that there is power through waiting. There is power that's coming forward. Now, in our inner selves, we can be really caught up in the moment during this time. The Knight of Wands, the Ouroboros isn't complete. So when you have the Ouroboros complete, you have the serpent eating his own tail, which sounds like a bad thing, but it really is a beautiful thing because we are devouring the wisdom that we acquire throughout living. And we have that endless cycle coming forward of us simply devouring that wisdom until we have devoured ourselves, until, our lifespan here is up and we move on to higher consciousness, higher wavelength. But with the Knight of Wands, this is somebody who is impulsive. This is somebody who wants to just push forward. This can very much be us during this time. Just saying, charge forward, just go after it. We're looking at the bigger picture, but we're looking at what we want in the now instead of what we're building for the future. And that's going to be something that's very important for us to step back from. When we sit there and we just go, oh, this is stupid, I'm just going to push, I'm just going to force it, we're going to find that we regret it more often than not. So here, stepping back, looking at what we desire, looking at what we want, but also not being caught up with other people who have these really good kind of schemes, have this really, powerful, fiery energy around them. We can really get caught up in that. And we have to step back and say, logically, what is right for me? Logically, how am I moving forward? How are we able to communicate? Is it all just emotional energy? Is it all just physicality? Because for Gemini, we can't just have it be physical, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a partnership of any form. It needs to be something more. It needs to have more of a substance to it. It's like a friendship that's only based on doing, these fun, adventurous things, but you can't sit down and talk. So here, we need to be able to communicate. We need to be able to connect. That's going to be so important. But there is this sense during this moon and during this time of needing the fire to shine, needing things to take off, needing us to take off, wanting a change, seeing things in our mind's eye changing and being frustrated that we're not there yet. So there's going to be this desire to just kind of say screw it and just go for it. And that's going to be something we have to be very, very mindful of during this time because it winds up chaining us. It changes us. Okay? So I was trying to say chained, And Spirit kept on having me say change. So here, when we let the passion, the power, the ferocity of it guide us, it changes the course that we're on, because we're not letting things happen in divine time. We're not connecting emotionally. We're not taking the gifts from divinity. We're not looking at things and saying, where do I need to be and why do I need to be there? The chains come in and they weigh us down. They keep us locked in addictions, in trauma dramas, in hurts, in pains, in emotional scarring, in coping mechanisms that we learned when we were very small. And yet we keep on following those patterns because they're what we know. The devil comes in, and the devil plays off of our good intentions, because we have these two cards and they're right next to each other. We have the devil and we have this demon-like figure, with the man and the woman. And here we have the angel with the man and the woman. So what this is saying is that we will have this tendency for extremes during this time. And what divinity wants us to do is it wants us to follow our hearts. It wants us to listen emotionally to ourselves, to be able to push forward. Because if we're only in the here and now, if we're only going after what feels good, if we're only looking at the fire of it, we're going to keep ourselves chained in a way that negates the power of this moon and doesn't have us seeing the picture that we are supposed to be living by, the bigger picture that we are supposed to be moving towards. The rarity of this moon, the brilliance of this moon, the power of this moon can easily be wasted on us if we let ourselves be chained to what other people think, to the desires of others, to a sense of, I'm going to do this to fit in, instead of letting ourselves shine for who we are and what we want and where it is that we need to be within our lives. There is a sense of knowing that there is going to be this duality to life, that there's going to be this sense of more than one way to get things done, and to step back, to listen, to communicate, to see, to gain an understanding, and to let love move us forward. Because as we let love move us forward, but also as we embrace the essence of ourselves, even if people don't get it, even if at times we don't get ourselves, and we're thinking, why do I have to do this? Or why am I being lazy? Or, oh my gosh, I should be doing XYZ instead of doing this. We need to follow what we love, and we need to pay honor to that. The Ace of Cups comes in, and it washes away so many doubts and fears. It brings us to an emotionally very sensitive time, which is amplified by the benevolence of Jupiter, which is amplified by the wisdom of this moon and the optimism of this moon and the positivity of this moon. So it makes us more sensitive because we're running on idealistic emotions. And when we run on idealistic emotions, Gemini, we tend to fall in love. We tend to fall in love with ideas. We tend to fall in love with passions. We tend to fall in love with it all. And then when it doesn't work out perfectly, we will beat ourselves up and lock ourselves out of any sort of happiness because we believe that we don't deserve it. And this is going to be the tug of war that we have during this time, that we need to accept, that we need to honor, but we also need to embrace who we are and where we're headed. So with this healing, there comes this time where we start to understand ourselves better, where we start to kind of release the knot that's been tied up within us, and we start to say, what is it that I want? What is it that I need to embrace within myself? Where is it that I need to be personally, spiritually, powerfully? And the healing comes in, and it moves us in the public arena to being much more student-like, much more childlike. Okay, how do I do this? Asking questions, developing things, seeing things more openly and more honestly, pushing the limitations, pushing the boundaries, not the limitations, pushing the boundaries, and gathering up information. It's going to be so important for us to gather up the information, to be open and honest with ourselves, to look at things not in a, it has to be done this way, but in a, why can't I push the boundaries? Why can't it be different? And then we start to see ourselves in the public arena walking away from something we once thought we would love. We're walking away from something that no longer fits. It's not right for us anymore. And this is also the place where this moon brings us to truth. What is it that we need to change, that we haven't been able to come to terms with, to see, to honor, to respect within ourselves. It was always okay tomorrow, okay tomorrow. And now what this moon is telling us is like, there's no more tomorrows. It has to be today. We have to be a student of our passion, of our power, of our insight, of our ideals. And we have to walk away from what needs to end, whether this be a relationship, whether this be a job, whether this be a mindset that's slowly strangling us. We need to walk away. And as we walk away, we become empowered and we become emboldened. In the public arena, there is an ending, and it might feel devastating at the time, but it's going to be one of the most freeing things. So let's see here. What is the rashness that Gemini needs to be mindful of? What is the rashness that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Okay. So what came out is 3. So the 4 of Wands, the celebration, right? The celebration of great ideas. Then we have the 6 of Cups, nostalgia of the past, and the 5 of Wands, which is chaos, fighting for the sake of fighting, things that have gotten out of hand. So what we have to be mindful of is the falling in love of it all, okay? And they all live happily ever after, that romantic sentiment that we as Geminis and we as romantic individuals, we just love. We love the romantic sentiment of it. But what comes forward is the doubts and the fears that were set up as in childhood. The person who said, oh, you're not pretty enough, you're not special enough, you're not talented enough. The snide remarks and the chaos that built within us that's saying, can I have happiness? And do I need to just go and take it? Or can this be something I slowly build towards, I slowly accept and respect within my life, and not have to be berated by? Okay, that's going to be really important during this time. So how does this moon allow love to come into, allow love to come into Gemini's life? How does this moon allow love to come into Gemini's life? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the path. It's the path that we take. It's the path less traveled. It's gaining the greater understanding of who we are and what we want. So how does this moon open up our path? Because we can be easily blocked in by the devil, by societal restraints, by restraints that we have for ourselves. Oh, I have to be like this, or I have to do this. I have to be the good one, or I have to be the crazy one, or, roles that we have taken on. And how is it that we're breaking them? Because we are breaking them, and we're moving towards something that we love. We really are. But there's the sense of old hurts and old pains, but also the needing to find joy as we found when we were little. And then the chaos just comes in. The chaos, the doubts, the fears, the sense of, can I do this? Can I move forward the way that I want to? Is there always just going to be inner turmoil and chaos? So how does Gemini embrace their path? How does Gemini embrace their path? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Balance spirituality with practicality. There needs to be that spiritual element to life and to ourselves. And that practical element, that sense of, this is the real world, this is what needs to be done, but this is the spiritual, this is my heart, this is my soul, this is what I need to listen to in order to be emboldened, in order to move forward in love and acceptance, in order to be me. And we're going against certain societal restraints. We're going against certain things that we thought, oh, but this is fundamentally who I am. And we're going to see that in order to celebrate what we love, in order to embrace what we love, our desire, our joy, our happiness, our celebration, and to leave behind the chaos, we're rethinking ourselves and we're redefining ourselves. What is the love that comes forward for Gemini? What is the love that comes forward for Gemini? Angels and spirit guides, so show me clearly. It's the 2 of Cups, the minor arcana Lover's card. It's healing and it's unity. It's feeling connected again. Our hearts, they need to be connected. They need to be connected to what we love, to what we want, to what we're looking for. And it's opening up a door. So this unity, how does the moon bring forward this unity? How does the moon bring forward this unity? How does the moon bring forward this unity? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading through beauty. And Gemini, that's a fundamental part of who we are. We are people who love beauty, who love the exquisite within life. And so here, to have that unity come in, to have that love, that respect, that caring, nurturing, that's going to be the beauty that we long for. That's going to be things that color the world in such an exquisite way. So how do we know this beauty? How does Gemini know this beauty? How does Gemini realize this beauty? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's through healing. It's through healing. It's through gaining greater understanding of ourselves and what we desire. And that's what's coming in. We're having the essence of ourselves come forward. We're having with the Ace of Cups, we're having the love come in, the healing come in, the washing away of the hurts and pains of the past that bring us to the Two of Cups, that bring us to unity, that let us have beauty come back into our lives. And it gives us the time to heal. Because that beauty comes forward in this healing, graceful, powerful way that redefines us. What is it that Gemini is walking away from? What is it that Gemini is walking away from? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. The Six of Swords and the Death card. We're walking away from the constant change. We're walking away from who we once were, and we're walking into who we need to be. The sense of not being on stable ground, a sense of emotions running high and things not being what they seem. The Death card, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. There is a sense of transformation, and there's a profound power within this transformation. How does the moon transform Gemini? How does the moon transform Gemini? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's through the masculine coming forward, the sacred masculine. It's through bringing that assertive, driven energy to us and saying, as much as the moon is feminine, during this time, the reflection of the sun, the power of the sun is coming forward for us. The lunar god, the masculine aspect is guiding us in a way that we hadn't anticipated. And that's going to be transformative because there's a bit more of assertion. There's a bit more of a focus and greater understanding. So how does the sacred masculine affect Gemini? How does the sacred masculine affect Gemini? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It brings our dreams into a practical place. It says that our dreams need a practical plan. And that's how the masculine affects us. It helps to stabilize us, to have us grow and have us develop in a profound and intricate way. All right. Now, what is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of during this time? What is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of during the May 2021 full moon? What is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The Queen of Pentacles. For love of money and nothing else. It's saying it doesn't matter if it fits or if it doesn't fit. It doesn't matter if it's right or if it's wrong. This is what I want. This is what I'm heading for. And it's putting the material above all else. And that's going to be something that we have to be very, very mindful of during this time because we can easily be there. We have that in us during our inner selves, during this time. We have the sense of saying, this is what I want. This is what I'm going after. This is what I desire. That's it. I want to amass a fortune. I want to build an empire. And it doesn't matter who I step on or how out of alignment I become within myself. That is what I'm doing. This is saying that we can still, be successful and prosperous, but be in alignment with ourselves. Okay? That's going to be really important. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Hierophant, is the High Priest, the Hierophant. So this is Taurus energy, and this is going to be that sense of do as I say. Like, this is what you need to do. This is what I say. This is what needs to be followed. And we can get that way during this moon. I can really see it. It's like, this is it and nothing else. We need to have that fluidity. We need to have that malleability of Sagittarius coming forward. And the subconscious message from this moon is power, full moon. This full moon is bringing us power because it's intense and it's beautiful and it's rare and it's more than we imagined. And so the power comes from this moon. It guides us forward. And it brings us to this full moon again, surrender. The full moon, the subconscious message of this moon is that this full moon impacts us in a way that we're not ready for, in a way that we're not expecting, but in a way that we cannot ignore. It brings us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is soul's healing. And we can see that within our heart. We heal. We start to heal. We embrace a healing. We embrace a greater understanding. Our subconscious tarot message is the Hierophant. So as much as the Hierophant can be a negative force for us, it can also be a very positive force. What are the core values to us? What is it that we cannot walk away from? Who is it that we truly are? And how does that develop? How do we develop? How are we empowered? Our subconscious tarot message for this whole entire reading is the 9 of Wands. We are tired. We're tired of trying to please everyone. We're tired of the pressures put on us by the world. It's time to say, I've come far. I've stood my ground. I've embraced my beauty. And yes, it's been a hard road. Yes, I've been wounded along the way. But this is me, and I am proud of who I am. All right, Gemini, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this rare and beautiful moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini, and may you have a blessed moon.